All right, guys. Seen a lot about kinetic energy, momentum, light arrow versus heavy arrow versus speed, slow speed. Well, we're going to do a test here with some flying arrow archery toxic broadheads, and we're going to compare them against the two-blade Magnus Stinger. It's basically a two-blade broadhead, 125 grains, but it does have the bleeder blade in it, so it's a two-blade broadhead with a bleeder blade. And I'm going to put up the weights for each arrow. We're going to do a heavy arrow and a light arrow, and we're going to put up the feet per second as well. Now, we're going to shoot close for this first shot. We're shooting almost point-blank range, but we're just looking for penetration. And for those guys that are going to ask, no worries. We're going to move it out to 20 yards. We're going to move it to 30 yards so we can get those distances too. But for the sake of keeping this video short, we're going to do it up close, personal first. And the first bow, we're going to shoot a bow, an older bow. We went to pick this up at a pawn shop. So 45-pound draw weight, 29.5-inch draw length, and we're going to shoot the flying arrow archery toxic broadhead on a heavier arrow. I'll put up the total weights of the arrows as we shoot this. You'll be able to see those. But we're going to shoot the heavy arrow first with the flying arrow archery toxic broadhead. Again, it's a 45 pounds. Bear with me. I normally shoot right-handed, and we're shooting this one left-handed. So here we go. All right, that was the heavy arrow, flying arrow archery toxic. This will be the Magnus Stinger. You can see it's a two-blade. It's got the little bleeder blade on the side, but that's a 125 grain broadhead. And again, on the heavy arrow, this is the same arrow as the flying arrow archery toxic. Again, at 45-pound draw weight, 29.5 inches. Okay. Now next we're going to shoot the light arrow. This is a lighter weight arrow. This is a Black Eagle Carnivore. It's 6.8 grains per inch. Again, I'll put up total weights. You'll see that. It's the 100 grain flying arrow archery toxic. Again, this is 45 pounds under this bow. All right. And same arrow, flying arrow or the Black Eagle Carnivore, and the Magnus Stinger, two-blade with the bleeder in it, 125 grain broadhead again. And we're going to shoot it out of our 45-pound bow. All right. That was our 45-pound bow. We got the top two arrows are the lighter weight arrows, and then the bottom two are the heavyweight arrows. We're going to get a close up and take a look at those, see the penetration, see how much we got. Hang with me here. Here's what we're shooting at. 2 pieces of foam. We got a piece of plywood back there behind it. I did not hear anything hit that plywood, so we're going to see. We're going to get them off there and take a look. Anyway, keep looking. And we're going to do this to mark each one's penetration. So we can get this out later. I'm going to take a piece of tape, and we're going to tape this right here. At the edge of the foam, we can see which one is going to have the better penetration. I can already tell you how this is going to turn out. Tape there, the edge. All right, now got them taped. As you can see, none of those at 45 grain or at 45 pounds penetrated both pieces of foam. None of them went to the plywood. So right here, none of those penetrated. We're going to peel these off. see what kind of penetration we got. We'll just pull them out. Meatworms. There's the toxic. Again, you can see the tape on them. You can see the penetration levels of each one. Then back up. All right. Anybody think I'm cheating on this? Watch these arrows. We're gonna try to run a continuous video here. Okay, there you go. Hard to see that one. Move it back here in the shade for you. Right there's the tape. You see it right there. So, if I'm going to line up these. You can see the heads are all lined up pretty close. The inserts are the same depth. Okay, so if a heavier arrow penetrates more by kinetic energy, why is it looks like the depth of penetration is exactly the same. Whether this is a light arrow or a heavy arrow, it's nearly identical. Now you can see that there was a slight, very slight edge. This is the Magna Stinger. This is the Toxic. And you can see there's a little more penetration with the 2-blade, which is expected. It's got less resistance. But look at the difference. Hopefully you can see that. Look at on this one here. The Magna Stinger, the 2-blade, only penetrated the width of that tape more than the Flying Arrow Archery Toxic. And that's again at 45 pounds. So same thing with the heavy arrow. Just the width of that tape, which is a ½ an inch maybe, is all the more penetration you got. And the Magna Stinger is a 125. These Toxic broadheads are 100 grain. So you got a little more weight there, so that could account to that. So if you're shooting low poundage bows, you don't need a 2-blade broadhead to get more penetration. You don't need a heavier arrow to get more penetration. Again, look at the light arrow. They're identical. This is the light arrow Flying Arrow Archery Toxic. This is the heavy arrow Toxic. Again, those weights are posted. Penetration's identical. Again, right here with the Stinger, Magna Stinger, it's identical. So, I don't know how much more you can get with any better than the Flying Arrow Archery, the Toxic there, the Flying Arrow Archery Toxic broadhead. So, there you are. There's a result right there. Now we're going to shoot the 60-pound bow, the speed bow, and we're going to put the same broadhead, same arrows to the same test. So we'll see how this turns out. We'll loop that video in and put it all together for you. See y'all.